Before we kick this one off, guys, I want to know about Epix. It's an app for both Android and iOS where you can trade and collect digital cards from top teams such as Astralis, MIBR and Na'Vi. And of course, there's heaps of different rarities which lead into the leaderboard system, be the best of a certain team or overall. There are heaps of different types of cards, including signed ones, cards actually of the skins players have used in big tournaments, and they're adding sets all the time. So check out the link in the description and join me in collecting all these awesome cards. It's been quite a while since we talked about defending pit or apartments as the CT player towards the A site of Inferno, one of the most powerful positions, a very important one to play, and one that does require a relative amount of skill, which is surprise surprise why Twistzz is there for Team Liquid. But there are a lot of little details that also go into play in this spot, which reduce the ability for the T side to get picks, as well as obviously increasing your chance to be able to frag, as well as your teammate on towards the A site, or even that player rotating from Arch. So one position you can play is one you've seen Twistzz play while I've been doing the intro. Great one, you can't get seen from short or diggity, but it's a great position towards apps. Very awkward for the T side to angle down on this. But little bits of utility that are important. Notice Twistzz goes nice and wide to throw his Molotov. He likes to keep his Molotovs consistent so they bounce in a little bit deeper, spread down the hallway. So there's no chance for a peek coming out from the T side to look for anyone maybe moving around on the A site. Another interesting thing about Twistzz after he gets his first kill, so about being sharp, is he likes to smoke towards the back, as this to open up a little, some different angles compared to smoking at the front, such as a player like Magis used to do the last time we looked at playing this pit position. You can see the smoke up in front like the T side does sometimes. He actually comes through on timing, finds daps, as well as jumping on top of that ledge there. So that's a great introductory round, and we'll go into a little bit more details in the future. Starting off with this position that we saw him play in the previous clip, as well as the smoke towards the back of this circular area or the pit area a lot of players will see themselves playing. If you drop that smoke towards the corner just in front of Twistzz to his left that we see a lot of players throw, it will sometimes block off this angle. So that's one reason why I think Twistzz likes to throw it towards the back. As you see here, it's going to be a great example. Smoke towards the back. Twistzz can still hold this very powerful angle towards Alu. This angle as well, so impossible to clear. Look at Ali trying to jiggle this, trying to take out the player. No clue Twistzz is there before he can then swing on anyone coming up short. Look at it again from Alu's point of view. He can't see Twistzz until he stepped out too far and exposed to a lot of the angles on site. That's why another reason why this position is so powerful, as well as the walls being there, being able to avoid a lot of flashes. Another thing that's quite important is when to drop this smoke. It's pretty obvious that, oh, there's a Molotov burning me, I should drop the smoke, right? That's a very obvious one. But also notice that with about 30 seconds left on the clock, it's very unlikely that by the time this smoke disappears, 10 seconds left or roundabouts, that ends are going to be doing their full execute with a Molotov out in their hand. So he drops it preemptively so he can have his gun out consistently if anyone wants to come at apps. In this scenario here, he's only going to get one. But notice that's also timing and all of that is a big influence as to when exactly this smoke will be dropped by Twistzz. Now, the other thing we talked about in the initial clip was the Molotov from Twistzz. This is very important as it goes deep and it's consistent. And one of the big things about this is it allows him or his teammates to move around the site. You can see this allows him to safely move up here to play an aggressive setup on middle. You can see if I was a T player in apps, look how deep this Molotov went, all the way back to here. There's no way you can pick anything out there, such as what we saw Alu trying to do in that previous clip. And you can see Twistzz is going to hold from an off angle because of how Team Liquid want to start this particular round. They've got a Liege under balcony playing anti-flash as well as Nitro, and they've just got Naf jiggling here, trying to take any contact in case the T side does try to just walk onto middle. Normally there are some flashes involved, and the great thing about this setup is you can do it even in a pug, because if your team is very aggressive towards this mid area, you can still play here as the balcony player, catch anyone trying to jump out here towards this mid area, and then you can see what you can do is swing out. The AWP's waiting for Twistzz in this scenario, but it's quite a strong example, and you can see that Team Liquid actually do come out on top with the 4v3 advantage, as Astralis tried to take middle in this one. So that's a great little example of how you can move yourself around the Molotov and then also play and cover that balcony position while also being ready to swing towards that area in top middle. Like all top players, Twistzz has an arsenal of grenades he likes to throw at the start of a round to catch players off guard, as well as Molotovs, such as the one we saw previously, which are slightly different from each other and stop teams from getting comfortable with what's going on. This nade here is a great one for anyone trying to jump in balcony. You can see it only does Kusta for 5 damage in this scenario, but still, if the timing's a little bit better, you can do a heap more with that one. Now, one thing Twistzz will do is that's a spam for anyone coming in apps on the timing, but if Nitro has top middle, he'll play at this hay cart, looking for anyone, again, a very powerful angle coming down, before sometimes throwing that Molotov there. And you can see what this Molotov does compared to the previous Molotov is this one actually goes so deep down the corridor that it forces anyone trying to look for this pick. Again, look at this, like Alu, it's the AWPer and Mixwell for Cloud9 trying to look for this pick out balcony. It's going to force them up the hallway, where again, because Twistzz is closer at this hay cart, start is going to be the main time he throws this Molotov, because then he's close. You say, Nitro, keep holding middle for me for a second, and I can take out the player who's stuck in that corner. You can see from Mixwell's it's very difficult for him to see anything, but Twistzz can definitely have a huge advantage on that fight. So it's a great way to get a pick. Change up that Molotov a little bit, so if you are looking for the pick, it's actually punishing you more, bringing you out, and Twistzz can go for that kill, as well as that nice pre-nade we saw towards second middle. And what do you know, he's back towards the spot we talked about a lot at the beginning. While we're talking about pre-nades, I thought I'd show you a couple of other ones Twistzz likes to throw. It all depends obviously on the timing. Your opponent likes to take apps. Cloud9 will sometimes take it very fast, so you see Twistzz as this Molotov's fading. This nade here quite early does a lot of damage there towards 10s. You can see he's down towards 58 points of health. The other one is this one out second middle. And you can see that one just bounces off the wall. Anyone trying to walk up that second mid area earlier in the round could potentially do a lot of damage to them as well. Obviously this one requires the early Molotov towards that boiler area isn't being thrown. So there's a couple of ones as well as the one over the top. The three main ones Twistzz will throw at the beginning of a round. Now, as with anything in CS, it is incredibly important not to be predictable. So I want you to notice at the start of this round here, again, we're going to see the pre-nade you saw previously, but there's only 2 players on your minimap towards A. They've gone very heavy with 3 players take banana control, and Twistzz still has his smoke and most of his utility. So we need to keep that in mind. That's just a little mental note I need you guys to make, and I should turn X-ray on. Now, as we move this round along, we're going to see that with Twistzz playing that position in pit, we've seen him play a lot, is he will often play close up. He does get a little bit caught with a fast execute here, but notice he tries to put out that Molotov, even though he misses his smoke, so he can play from pit and potentially fake the fact that he is in that back pit or circular area where there used to be that big pillar we used to know about. Now, the strong thing about him holding pit is it makes it very difficult for Vitality to have a strong after plant without this position. You can see even with the Molotov and Nade coming in, he still manages to get 2. So 2v1 for Team Liquid. Unfortunately, it's ZywOo. He left alive, so doesn't go their way. But he did a great job. Get a 3k in this round, potentially trying to fake out that position in back pit. And this is something he'll do quite often. You can see in this round here, again, he's going to try and fake it and just sit here. And once again, he makes things incredibly difficult for the NRG side because they can't take this pit position because of where he is. He's still alive. He stayed alive for a long amount of time, which allows the rest of his teammates to rotate in. And again, the after plant is terrible for NRG. So with only getting 1 kill here, and despite how messy it is, he does a lot of great work from the pick, and just controlling this area alone, even if you're not getting kills, can make it very difficult for the T's to stop you defusing that bomb and winning the round overall. Now, as much as I try to simplify these videos and talk about them from an individual's perspective so you guys can try and replicate it in your own matches, what's going on towards the B site does influence a player in the pit position. Now, remember I told you to take that mental note about the fact that they didn't smoke the end of halls or any utility used when there was only 2 players towards A. That's because the norm for Team Liquid is for Twistzz to throw this particular smoke to really lock down this A site nice and early when they are concentrating on banana, such as you see here. Now, this particular example, Alexi B takes out Nitro, caught out at top middle, so Twistzz is left all alone to defend all angles of this A site. And I love this scenario. It's not really one to replicate, but it's a great one to break down. He knows it takes a little bit longer to get in apps, plus he's used his smoke there. So the 2 positions most likely to get attacked from are short and that arch position. What's he going to do? He's going to Molotov short quickly, come back and check it, make sure no one's through, before using all his utility towards this arch wrap position and separating the player. Notice Alu comes around first before he's able to take out a second player in Sergey, and then he is eventually traded. But a pretty good effort getting 2 kills when you're trying to defend the entirety of the A site all by yourself. And it wasn't for the fact that the smoke forces a Liege out, and that both Stewie was also caught out in banana, as well as the pick we saw towards Nitro. Those 2 kills could have been the difference. It's not, but he plays this round very well, and it's thinking on your feet like this, which separates players where, yes, it's great to just replicate a lot of what I'm talking about now, but if you can't think on your feet, a lot of scenarios are going to be quite difficult for you. And it's why it's important that you actually review your own demos and think about the decisions you made when playing the game yourself. Some of the cheekiness you can do, which I know you all love, is throw this particular smoke here, a little bit of a one-way towards top middle, get boosted over, notice they're using this with only 1 rifle in their arsenal, and use it to get a cheeky little pick here towards middle and falling away. Other things that are quite useful, obviously setups. You've got this one here towards the site. Notice Twistzz on this box looking towards apps, a bit of a hedge glitch. He's just bobbing up and down. He doesn't want to get jiggled in this position because if a player spots him and Twistzz doesn't kill him instantly, it's not a very favorable fight for him. But the big thing about this setup is it gives him early info towards apps and allows Nitro to hold this more powerful angle where he can get anyone trying to come out that boiler area with the AWP. So Twistzz is playing more of a supportive role, but this is again another very strong setup, one that a team never seems to come A when when they're running, but I just want to show it to you guys because it's very strong if you are playing with a mate. And my final point is, don't get locked into this idea that you're the pit player, so you must play pit. There's nothing wrong with playing site every now and then. Yes, pit is very powerful, but if a team presumes you're always going to be pit, you can get the element of surprise playing on site, particularly in rounds when you have 4 players alive. It can be very strong to play 2 players on the site, kind of watching one direction each. As you'll see, that's what Team Liquid are going to fall into in a second. When the pressure comes back over towards B and Elige is forced to rotate back around, you can see in a second there's going to be a little bit of doubt in his mind. He's forced back away, meaning that both these players can be wrapped onto from any direction. So they're going to move back into the site. You're going to have Nitro watching wrap side initially before they decide to switch it up, and actually Twistzz is going to cover back. And there's lots of different angles you can play off each other. Nitro just playing off Twistzz contract, making them fully commit into the site. So there's the first kill that comes in, then the kill on towards balcony, and it's going to be a great job by Twistzz to use utility, delay a lot of these players, and actually get a kill just straight with that Molotov. And this is going to be a great round, and again, it's just important to mix up your play and make sure you're not staying predictable. But with all that said, guys, that is the end of the video, so make sure to like and subscribe, let me know what you think about Twistzz in the pit, and I'll catch you all in the next video.